Good afternoon and welcome to the East Gymnasium here at Fort Lee High School in Fort Lee, New Jersey. We are just a little after 2 o'clock p.m., almost ready for some New Jersey tournament action between the Fort Lee Bridgman girls volleyball team and the Falcons of Saddlebrook High School. This is technically the second round of the lower of the two Bergen County tournaments. This is the Bergen County Invitational first round. In the larger bracket, the Bridgmen opened in the upper half, and then they lost in the preliminary round of the Bergen County tournament. That was to Tenafly 2 days ago on Thursday. So they dropped into the Invitational bracket. That is Fort Lee's only home loss of the year. The Bridgmen are 9-1 here at the East Gymnasium. Meanwhile, the Saddlebrook Falcons opened in the lower bracket, and they won in the preliminary round. They defeated Park Ridge in 3 sets 3 days ago. So for them, like I said, it is really their second round as they are here taking on Fort Lee in a matchup where the Bridgmen could be considered favorites, but we should be in for a good one as these teams go through the sportsmanship practices pregame. Saddlebrook sits at 9-5 on the season. In division, their division being the NJIC Liberty, they are 4-2. Meanwhile, Fort Lee, after a win yesterday against Memorial, which we had here on the YouTube Athletics stream, Fort Lee is 12-3. And in the Big North American division, they are 5-1. So, I am Tommy Aquilina. You are watching the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube stream, and we are just about set to get underway. Fort Lee will serve first, wearing their home black uniforms with orange numbering and lettering. The Saddlebrook Falcons wearing navy, white, and yellow, their 3 colors. Emma Schulman starts us off. And Saddlebrook starts off with the first point of the afternoon. Both of these teams have played a lot recently. For Fort Lee, this is their 4th game in 4 days. They defeated Dwight Morrow in a divisional matchup to start that off as they pick up their first point of the day on a bad serve. Then they lost to Tenafly in the preliminary round of the Bergen County tournament. Won yesterday against Memorial in a regularly scheduled match. And now today, taking on Saddlebrook in the Invitational Bergen County tournament. Fort Lee takes their first lead of the afternoon. It's 2-1, and serving is Luna Sugahara. Meanwhile, the Falcons are playing for a second consecutive day and for the 4th time in 5 days, beating Palisades Park and then winning in the preliminary round of this tournament on October 3rd and 4th, and then yesterday losing at Rutherford, dropping to 9-5 overall. Both of these teams playing non-divisional matches yesterday. Fort Lee picking up a win, Saddlebrook taking a loss. This one means much more for both teams, and the Bridgmen take a 3-1 advantage. Luna Sugahara will serve again. 3-1 Bridgmen early here in the first set. Sending it over is the Saddlebrook libero, Emily Richlack. She leads the team in digs coming into this one with 161. And it's now 3-2 Fort Lee, and it will be Richlack serving. Sugahara can't save it. That's going to be an ace for Richlack, and we are knotted at 3. Sarah Wong trying to set it up, and we get a whistle. That's a point for Saddlebrook. It's 4-3 in favor of the Falcons. Sonia Yurchenko gets it over. Now Bella Foster going for the kill, and she's going to pick it up. We're tied at 4, and the Bridgeman will be serving. Yurchenko will be subbed out in favor of Catherine Borisov, and the Bridgeman libero will be serving. That's Bella Plout. Bella Foster meeting a Falcon at the rim. Unable to do so that time. Was it in or out? It was in. Point for the Falcons. So they go up 5-4. Stella Cahill-Slowick serving now for the Falcons. Coming into this one, she leads Saddlebrook with 118 assists. Fort Lee ties things up at 5 here in the first set, and now Bella Foster will be serving for the Bridgeman. She leads the team coming into this one with 165 kills, 28 blocks, and 17 aces. We've already seen her pick up a kill today, but that was not her best serve, and so it's 6-5 in favor of the Falcons, and they will be serving. This is Frankie Acheta, who leads her team in kills and aces. 31 aces coming into this one. Doesn't pick one up there. And we continue on. Sarah Wong sets up Borisov. That's going to be returned, but out of play. Point for Fort Lee. 6-6, and Sarah Wong will be serving. Good serve. Not returned well. Fort Lee goes back on top. It's 7-6. Once again, returned out of bounds. It's 8-6 now in favor of Fort Lee. Sarah Wong will continue serving as Saddlebrook coming unmoored just a little bit. Really good serves here from Wong. It is returned by the Falcons. Sugahara sets up Borisov. Once again, the Falcons get it over. And they can't get it over this time. Wong sent it over, and now she will be serving again. It's 9-6. Very nicely done there by Foster and Wong. Shulman keeps it alive. Wong, Sugahara, Borisov. Saddlebrook gets it back over. That was Acheta finishing it. Richlack for Acheta. No, miscommunication between Sugahara and Foster results in a point for the Falcons. It's 9-7. Frankie Acheta, number 24, for Saddlebrook, leads the team with 148 kills and 31 aces coming into this one. Serving it now is Deanna Jose, number 9. She keeps it alive here and sent way out by Olivia Jorgoski. That makes it 10-7 Fort Lee. Borisov will serve, and Sonia Yurchenko checks back in for Plout. And Plout immediately comes back on. Bad serve for Borisov, so she'll step off, and it's 10-8 Fort Lee. Serving now for Saddlebrook, Madison Brickley. Foster. Wong. Saddlebrook gets it back over. Now Wong setting up Foster. The libero, Richlack, is right there. Acheta, saved by Foster. And Yurchenko knocked it over, but she was over the net. Oh no, the other way around. Point for Fort Lee. So it's 11-8 in favor of the Bridgemen. Schulman to serve for the second time today. Good serve, and something there was not good for Saddlebrook, so it's 12-8. Couldn't tell if that was Richlack or Acheta committing the infraction. This time it's Schulman serving right into the net, so it's 12-9. Schulman comes off in favor of Naomi Kim. Again, 12-9 Fort Lee. Serving here is Jorgoski for the Falcons. Foster, soft touch. Can it be returned by the Falcons? Yes, it can be. Wong sets up Foster. And meeting her at the rim was Ava Pichinich, but she was unable to stop it. So it's 13-9 in favor of the Bridgemen. It'll be Sugahara serving for Fort Lee. Acheta, saved by Plout, sent over by Yurchenko. Wong setting up Plout. Too much on that one, and so we're both in double digits. It's 13-10 in favor of Fort Lee with Saddlebrook serving. Specifically, the libero, Richlack. Fort Lee keeps it alive and is going to pick up the point. Plout was the last one to send it over. Head coach John Ziemba loves what he sees, gives his team positive reinforcement. Also subs Borisov back in. For Yurchenko. Plout. Wong. Foster. Richlack keeps it alive. It's sent back over. Wong for Foster. Once again, returned by the Falcons. Jorgoski sends it over. Wong is going to set up Foster again. Third time's the charm, and it's 15-10 Bridgemen. Fort Lee winning yesterday pretty comfortably over the Memorial Tigers, 25-10 and 25-16. Here with a 15-10 lead, forcing a timeout by Saddlebrook head coach Sandy Myers. Both of these teams went 17-9 and had 8 divisional wins last year, and both of them now playing in technically the first round of the Invitational bracket of the Bergen County tournament. Fort Lee 12-3 on the season, Saddlebrook 9-5, and both of them in second place in their respective divisions. The girls on the court for the Bridgemen: Borisov, Wong, Foster, Sugahara, Kim, and Plout, who is serving. Acheta gets it over. Wong setting up Foster. kept alive and sent over. Acheta got it over. Borisov. Here's Acheta again. Kim was right there. Borisov sends it over. Now they set up Acheta. Nicely done. Very nicely done. She's going to pick up another kill. That was number 11, Alexa Sezi, setting up Acheta. Sezi will now check out, and Saddlebrook will serve. Trailing 15-11. Acheta going for another kill, and she's going to pick it up. 15-12 in favor of the Bridgemen, and Stella Cahill-Slowick will serve. And she's going to pick up an ace as well. 15-13, a nicely used timeout by Sandy Myers. These two teams did not face each other last year. Both playing pretty well today. Saddlebrook going on a little bit of a run right now, and that run is going to continue. It is 15-14 in favor of the Bridgemen. Another ace for Cahill-Slowick, a second in a row. We're tied at 15. It was 15-10 Fort Lee. Sugahara, Wong, Foster. It's going to be Acheta getting met at the net by Foster. Borisov. Wong going to set up Foster again. Saddlebrook keeps it alive. This time it's going to be Borisov. Acheta sends it over. Foster keeping it alive, but Naomi Kim cannot send it over on the third hit. Saddlebrook's run continues, and now John Ziemba wants a timeout. 16-15, Saddlebrook now leading. So John Ziemba takes a timeout. His team was up 15-10, now trailing, again playing for a fourth consecutive day, trying to improve to 3-1 in that 4-day stretch. A win at Dwight Morrow back on Wednesday to improve to 5-1 in division, just a half game back of 5-0 Cliffside Park. Then the loss in the preliminary round of the higher bracket of the Bergen County tournament, and then a pretty comfortable win yesterday over Memorial. Nothing comfortable about this one. The Bridgemen trail 16-15. Borisov trying to change that, but the Falcons are going to get this one over. Acheta. Kim was right there. Borisov going to try again. The Falcons have a response again. Sugahara keeps it alive. Wong sets up Borisov. She was trying to hit it softly over the net, and she hit it a little too softly. So it's 17-15 in favor of the Falcons. Foster just barely gets it over. Fort Lee got lucky, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So after 7 straight points, not like Fort Lee isn't in this one, it is 17-16. Foster to serve. Shulman checks in. Very nicely done by Bella Foster. We are tied at 17. Yesterday, Foster had 11 kills, 2 blocks, and 2 aces. Fort Lee doesn't win that volley that she served. Saddlebrook takes an 18-17 lead. This is Acheta serving. Just barely gets over, but it landed out. So it hit off the net and then landed out of play. So a 19-17 lead for the Falcons. Acheta gets it over, but Foster hits it 2 out of the 3 times. Richlack for Jorgoski. Same team there for the Bridgman, but Plout will get it over. Acheta's going to pick up a kill. Saddlebrook is going to pick up a 3rd straight point and take a 20-17 lead. Foster, Wong, Shulman. No response from Saddlebrook. So it's 20-18, and Wong will serve for the Bridgman. Acheta setting up Jorgoski. Now Wong setting up Borisov. Richlack for Jorgoski again. Plout keeps it alive. Shulman gets it over. Shulman meeting at the net. Now Fort Lee on the 3rd hit. Borisov going to pick up the kill. It's 20-19. Good volley. Won by Fort Lee. Now they can tie. Wong was there. Sugahara setting up Borisov. Richlack keeps it alive for the Falcons. Borisov keeping it alive for the Bridgman, but only momentarily. It's 21-19. Now this is going to be Deanna Jose serving for the Falcons. Wong sets up Shulman. Very nicely done. Doing yesterday's match and this one today, I think that's been the hardest we've seen Shulman send it over the net. Comes at a good time. It's 21-20. Borisov serving. Acheta sends it out. We are tied here at 21. Remember, in volleyball, you do have to win by 2. Both teams 4 points away from picking up this first set, which is clearly going to be very important. Borisov, was that nicely done? It was nicely done. A fantastic serve. She's going to pick up an ace. And what a time to do it. Fort Lee takes a 22-21 lead, and Sandy Myers takes a timeout. Fort Lee playing for a 4th day in a row. Saddlebrook playing for a 4th day out of 5. Both teams trying to advance to the 2nd round of the Bergen County Invitational. Fort Lee leading this first set here in the first round, 22-21. This one has been back and forth from the start. Fort Lee leading and serving. It's Catherine Borisov. No ace here. Acheta gets it over. Borisov, Wong setting up Yurchenko. Now Richlak setting up number 5 for Saddlebrook. That's Cahill Slowick. Fort Lee got it over, but out of play. So we're tied once again, 22-22. Brickley serving for the Falcons. Wong setting up Foster, who's going to pick up a kill. And Fort Lee back on top. It's 23-22. Shulman to serve. Acheta. Sugahara keeps it alive. Oh, very nicely done. Wong will pick up the assist. Foster will pick up the kill, and this is match point for Fort Lee. Saddlebrook needs to win 2 in a row, and they do get it over here. Wong setting up Foster again, and that's going to do it for this first match. Or this first set, rather. 25-22 is the final in the first one. They're going to switch sides of the court. So the final in the first set is Fort Lee 25, Saddlebrook 22. I would imagine that the second set will be close as well. I will step aside briefly and then come back with the rest of what's been a very exciting match so far. Tommy Aquilina back here with you at the East Gymnasium. They got started right away here in this second set. And right away, Yurchenko will pick up a kill and Fort Lee will pick up a lead. 1-0 in favor of the Bridgemen. Emma Shulman to serve. Fort Lee winning the first set 25-22. It was back and forth pretty much the entire way. This is Acheta sending it over. Shulman with the response. Yurchenko sent it over for the Bridgemen. Now Acheta again. This time Foster meets Acheta at the net. Who wins that one? It's Foster. That's the big matchup. And Foster wins that one. It's 2-0 Bridgemen. Acheta meeting Foster at the net, and this time Acheta picks up the point for Saddlebrook. Deanna Jose subs in for Ava Pichinich, and Emily Richlack will serve for the Falcons. They're going to have to do this the hard way by winning the second 2 sets. Foster met at the net by Jose, immediately tested. This time, Foster. Now it's Acheta, met by Foster. She gets the block, and Fort Lee. No. Point Saddlebrook. It's 2-2. Foster, but Cahill-Slowick with a response. Too much put on that one by Acheta, so now Fort Lee gets the 3rd point. It's 3-2 Bridgman, and Luna Sugahara will serve. It's Acheta again. Plout keeps it alive. Wong. Yurchenko, with help from the net, gets it over. That counts, and it's 4-2 Fort Lee. Acheta keeps it alive. Sent over by Sezi. Foster with the kill. 5-2 Fort Lee. Acheta. Sezi. Acheta again. Now it's not Foster, but Plout, and she put too much on that one. Got underneath it a little bit, and it's 5-3 in favor of Fort Lee. Now Sezi will check out in favor of Brickley, and serving is Cahill-Slowick. Kim setting up Foster, met at the net, immediately sends it back. Now Acheta immediately sent back by Bella Foster. She has been a brick wall here in the early going. In the second set, it's 6-3 Fort Lee. Plout serving for the Bridgman. Sent over by Brickley. Kim setting up Foster, who is met at the net by Jose. It's 6-4 in favor of Fort Lee. Acheta to serve. Wong setting up Borisov. Sent over by Cahill-Slowick. Now they set up Foster. Jose keeps it alive and then has to get out of the way. A little bit of miscommunication there by Saddlebrook. It's going to result in a point for Fort Lee and a 7-4 lead for the Bridgman. Schulman subs in for Kim and Foster to serve. Cahill-Slowick sets up Jorgoski. Fort Lee with an answer. And Bella Foster. It cannot be saved by Brickley. It's 8-4 Bridgman. Fort Lee did have a 15-10 lead, and Saddlebrook wound up making it all go away and taking the lead. So no lead is too great, especially considering this is a tournament match. They set it up for Borisov. Richlack keeps it alive for Acheta. Plout, Foster, Sugahara sends it over. Jorgoski met at the net by Schulman, and she sent it out. 8-5, and Saddlebrook to serve. The libero, Richlack, will sub out, and Jose will serve for the Falcons. Borisov makes it 9-5 Fort Lee. And now Jose will sub back out in favor of Richlack. Or actually, Richlack subs in for her. Ball came over here, so I apologize, but it's 10-5 in favor of Fort Lee. Timeout taken by Sandy Myers. Getting a little bit of deja vu here because it was 15-10 in the first set when she took a timeout, and then all of a sudden it was 17-15 Saddlebrook. But John Ziemba's squad battled back. Fort Lee getting the victory in the first set, 25-22. Now looking to get the victory overall and move on to the second round of the Bergen County Invitational. And here in the second set, it is with a 5-point Fort Lee advantage, 10-5 this time, that Myers takes a timeout. Let's see how her squad responds. Acheta sends it over. Now Shulman for Fort Lee. And this time they're going to extend that 5-point advantage. It's 11-5 now. Wong to serve again. Acheta. It could not be returned by Sugahara, and so now it's 11-6. And Saddlebrook to serve, specifically Brickley. They set it up for Shulman. Very, very nicely done. Not really much Saddlebrook could do there. So Fort Lee has Saddlebrook doubled up. It was 8-4, it was 10-5, now it's 12-6. Borisov serving. Acheta keeping it alive. Richlack gets it over. Now it's Yurchenko. But Jorgoski and Saddlebrook has a response. Yurchenko again. 13-6, Bridgman. Fort Lee trying to pull away a little bit here in the second set, but Borisov puts too much on that serve. It's 13-7. Now it's Jorgoski's turn for the Falcons. And this time she gives a point to the other team. It was 8-4, it was 10-5, it was 12-6, now it's 14-7. Shulman serving. Acheta gives a point to Fort Lee there. It's 15-7. Acheta, but keeping it alive is Sugahara. Plout sends it right into the net. So it's 15-8. Saddlebrook with the point, and it will be Richlack serving for the Falcons. They set it up for Foster. Jorgoski is there. That time, it was Cahill Slowick sending it out. So Fort Lee, once again, has the Falcons doubled up. It's 16-8. Trading blows is not going to work for the Falcons, who need to come back from down 8, now down 7, and down 1-0. So now Sezzy will check out, Brickley in, Cahill Slowick to serve, and John Ziemba to take a timeout. Wants to talk things over with his squad, make sure they don't take their foot off the gas pedal. It's 16-9 in favor of the Bridgemen. Fort Lee looking to advance to the second round of the Bergen County Invitational as they look to win the lower bracket of the tournament, and looking to improve to 13-3 on the season. Saddlebrook looking for a 10th win of the year. Both teams will play again after getting a deserved 2 days rest, unless the tournament changes that, but I believe both teams will be off for 2 days. And then on October 10th, Saddlebrook will be at Bergenfield. Fort Lee will be at Ridgefield Park. Right now, Saddlebrook is trying to come back in this one. It's Cahill Slowick serving, and it's Bella Foster picking up a kill. 17-9 Fort Lee, and the Bridgemen will be serving, specifically Plout, who is out there with Kim, Sugahara, Wong, Foster, and now Borisov. And that's going to be an ace for Bella Plout. Once again, the Bridgemen have Saddlebrook doubled up. It's 18-9. Plout, who came into this one leading the team in digs. Not picking up an ace here. Acheta sends it out. It's 19-9 Fort Lee. Sandy Myers will take a timeout. Unlike in the first set, Fort Lee has been able to keep the Falcons at an arm's length distance here in this second set. Again, Fort Lee taking on Ridgefield Park in 2 days, or in 3 days, I should say. That will be a divisional matchup. Fort Lee 5-1 and in second place in the Big North American. Ridgefield Park in third place at 2-4. Fort Lee hoping to enter that one with at least a baker's dozen number of wins. 19-9. Plout serving. Plout picking up an ace. It is 20-9 Fort Lee. They can smell the second round of the Bergen County Invitational. Richlak, Cahill Slowick, Jorgoski, but Fort Lee responds. Borisov and Jose met at the net. Here, Jose defers to Acheta, who gets it over. Now Foster sends it over lightly. This time she meets Jose at the net. We play on. Richlak. It's kept alive. Kim sends it over for Fort Lee. Jorgoski. Miscommunication between Richlak and Acheta, two of the better players for Saddlebrook, but there they couldn't come to a decision, and it's 21-9 Fort Lee. Richlak, Cahill Slowick. Acheta is met by Foster at the net. It's 22-9. Fort Lee pouring it on. Fort Lee won in pretty dominant fashion yesterday over Memorial, but honestly, they might be playing even better today. This is the 4th day in a row that they're playing. Looking to advance to the second round of the Bergen County Invitational. Sugahara keeps it alive. Borisov sends it over while going down. Borisov, Wong, Catherine Borisov. Saddlebrook has a response. Kim, Wong, Borisov. They set it up for a Cheta. Kim, Wong, Borisov. She's met at the net by Jose. Borisov met again at the net by Jose. They set it up for a Cheta, who sends it out. Fort Lee has either had a response for a Cheta or she sent it out of play. It's 23-9 Bridgman. Really good serve there by Plout. Saddlebrook has a response. Richlak gets it over. Now it's going to be Borisov sending it over. Richlak keeps it alive. Saddlebrook gets it over but sends it out. Match point coming for the Bridgmen. The first set was 25-22. Fort Lee. Not going to get this one that easily. Foster. Saddlebrook will get it over again. Borisov. They keep it alive for a Cheta. And so it's 24-10. Saddlebrook does have a lot of work to do, but they will serve. And it's going to be Frankie Acheta serving. So it's 25-11 now, or 24-11, I should say. Acheta trying to lead an epic comeback for Saddlebrook. Jorgoski. Bella Foster for the win. No. That's a dig for Acheta. That's a dig for Kim. Borisov. Kept alive by the Falcons. Jorgoski. Bella Foster for the win. Richlak. Somehow, Saddlebrook kept that one alive. Richlak trying to send it over. No, she was setting up Jorgoski, who does get it over. Now Foster again for the win. Met at the net by Jose. Acheta. Foster. Acheta keeps it alive. Fort Lee wins. We had some good volleys there at the end, but the Fort Lee Bridgmen come away with the victory. 25-11, 25-22 the final in the first set, 25-11 the final in the second set. And so Fort Lee, pretty solid 4-day stretch. They beat Dwight Morrow in a divisional matchup. They lose to Tenafly in the preliminary round of the Bergen County Tourney, get dropped into the lower bracket, and then after defeating Memorial in 2 sets yesterday, they beat Saddlebrook in 2 sets today. A 3-1 stretch. Fort Lee improves to 13-3 overall and 10-1 at home. The Bridgmen will be playing in the second round of the Bergen County Tournament. Thank you for spending yesterday and or today with us. I am Tommy Aquilina, giving a special shout out to Fort Lee Athletic Director Michael Raftery and Dimitri Nanas for everything he does for the stream. Once again, Fort Lee wins it 25-22, 25-11 over Saddlebrook. Thanks again, everybody. See you next time.